The war had ended, but the ground still burned. Broken ships lay like dead giants, their metal ribs sticking out from the soil. The air smelled of smoke and ash. The colony was silent, except for the crackle of fire and the distant groans of falling steel. Alara moved carefully through the ruins. She was a human woman, young, but scarred by battle. Her uniform was torn, her rifle heavy in her hands. She had been ordered to search the ruins for survivors. But most soldiers knew there would be none. The attack had wiped out everything. Still, she searched. Opals crunched over glass and rubble. Her eyes scanned the shadows between broken walls. Every sound made her tense. Somewhere above, the sky glowed red with the fading storm of war. Then she heard it. A sound so soft she almost thought it was her imagination. A small cry. Weak, trembling, like the whimper of a wounded animal. Alara froze. She raised her rifle, scanning the rubble. Again, the sound came. A high, thin wail. Not human. Not like any baby she had ever heard, but close. Her heart thumped. Slowly she followed the sound, stepping over shattered beams and stone. Behind a fallen wall, she found it. A small bundle, half covered in dust and ash. The cries grew louder. As she approached, kneeling, she pulled away a piece of metal and gasped. It was a child, but not human. Its skin was pale blue, faintly glowing in the shadows. Its eyes were large, silver like moonlight. Tiny hands reached upward, trembling. A small wound cut across its shoulder, bleeding slowly. Alara's chest tightened. This was no soldier, no threat, just a baby. Behind her, footsteps crunched. 2 human soldiers approached. Captain Alara, one called. We found nothing on the east side. You. Alara turned slightly, shielding the bundle, but it was too late. They saw. One soldier's eyes widened. That's alien. The other stepped back, hand on his weapon. It's dangerous. Believe it. Orders are clear. We don't bring back enemy spawn. The baby whimpered louder, as if sensing fear. Alara looked down at the child, then back at the soldiers. Her grip tightened on her rifle. It's just a baby, she said quietly. It's not one of us, the soldier snapped. It could be a trap. Their kind grow fast. In a year, it'll be fighting us. Better to end it now. He reached for his gun. Alara's voice turned sharp. Don't. The soldiers hesitated. A day. Had seen that look in her eyes before. It's the look that meant she would fight her own if she had to. Slowly, they lowered their hands, muttering curses under their breath. Alara bent down and lifted the infant. Its body was warm, trembling, fragile. It gave a weak cry, then pressed its small head against her chest, as if it had already chosen. Her? Something broke inside her. She had lost family in the war. She had buried friends. But this was life, new innocent life. She would not let it die. She held the baby close. You're safe now, she whispered. The soldiers shook. Their heads. You'll regret this. The council will never allow it. Alara ignored them. She wrapped the baby in her cloak, hiding its glowing skin. The child's eyes blinked up at her, silver and soft. For the first time in months, Alara felt something warm in her chest. Hope. Back at the human base, whispers spread quickly. She brought back an alien baby? She's lost her mind. Why protect something not ours? Alara didn't care. She named the child Kale, a simple name. A strong name. She fed him, cared for his wound, and held him through the long nights. Some humans avoided her, muttering when she passed. Others called her a traitor. But when Kale laughed for the first time small, bright, pure Alara knew she had made the right choice. Still, the council was not pleased. When the news reached the Galactic Council, the hall erupted with outrage. Alien leaders hissed and shouted. The human race is one of ours? She corrupts the bloodline. She breaks the law of species. The council called for her to release the child. They demanded Kale be taken away for study. Alara stood before them, holding Kale in her arms. Her voice was steady, her eyes unyielding. My child. The council mocked her. Some laughed. Some called her a fool. One alien leader sneered, "You humans cling to weakness. This creature is not yours." But Alara only held Kale closer. His small hand gripped her finger tightly as if he understood the fight around him. "No," Alara said firmly.
La la la.
"He is mine, and no one will take him." The chamber filled with angry voices. But among the crowd, a few were silent. They saw something others did not, the fire in her eyes, the unbreakable bond between mother and child. It was the kind of bond that could not be ordered away, not by soldiers, not by councils, not even by the universe itself. That night in her quarters, Alara rocked Kale to sleep. His silver eyes slowly closed, his small chest rising and falling in peace. The war had taken everything from her. But this child, this alien baby, had given her something back. A reason to fight.
A reason.
To hope, a reason to love. And though the council frowned upon it, and though whispers followed her everywhere, Lara knew one truth. This was only the beginning. Because from that moment forward, she was no longer just a soldier. She was a mother. The council chamber echoed with sharp voices. Alien leaders sat in their tall chairs, cloaked in silks and metals, eyes filled with judgment. Human delegates stood nervously at the back, whispering among themselves. At the center, Alara stood tall, Kale in her arms. The infant's silver eyes blinked curiously at the crowd. His tiny hand reached for Alara's cloak, unaware of the storm around him. To him, this was just another room. To Alara, it was a battlefield won she had to win. The council's speaker, a tall insectoid creature with glassy wings, leaned forward. Its voice buzzed through the hall. "Alara of Earth, you have broken the ancient code. Species must remain apart. You shelter an enemy child. Return it to us for study or face exile." Gasps filled the chamber. Some delegates nodded in agreement. Others exchanged uneasy glances. Alara's jaw tightened. She pulled Kale closer, her arms forming a shield around him. "He is not a weapon. He is not a threat," she said firmly. "He's a child. My child." Laughter rolled through the chamber. Reptilian counselor bared sharp teeth. "You humans, always clinging to weakness. You think your pity will change nature? That thing will grow into one of us. When he does, he will despise you." Kale whimpered softly at the harsh voices. Alara rocked him gently, ignoring the stares. "Then let him choose who he becomes," she answered. Her voice was steady, though her heart raced. The insectoid speaker hissed, "You defy the council? You dare raise an alien as your own?" Alara's eyes blazed. "I don't care about your rules. I care about him." The chamber fell into heavy silence. Even the human delegates shifted uneasily, unsure if they should support her or step away. To stand with Alara was dangerous. To stand against her was worse. Finally, the council speaker struck its staff against the floor. "Then hear this, human. The child is forbidden from entering our territories. If you keep it, you live outside. The council's favor, no protection, no aid. You and that creature are on your own." The words hit like a hammer. No protection meant no trade. No allies, no support in war. A sentence harsher than exile. But Alara didn't flinch. She only looked down at Kale, who had fallen asleep against her shoulder, his tiny breath soft and steady. She whispered, just loud enough for the chamber to hear, "Then we'll survive without you." Back at the base, whispers followed her everywhere. Soldiers looked at Kale with suspicion. Some made cruel jokes behind her back. Others stared at the glowing-skinned child as if he carried disease. One night, as Alara walked through the mess hall with Kale in her arms, a group of soldiers blocked her path. "You think you're a hero?" one sneered. "You think you can raise that thing like it's human? One day it'll grow claws. One day it'll kill you in your sleep." Another soldier added, "Better to end it now before it grows teeth." Ilara's blood boiled. She stepped forward, her eyes sharp as steel. "Touch him," she said coldly, "and you'll see how fast I can still fight." The soldiers hesitated. Everyone knew Ilara's record had survived battles, others hadn't. Slowly, they stepped aside, muttering. But the whispers didn't stop. Days turned into weeks. Raising Kale was not easy. He grew fast, much faster than a human child. His silver eyes shone brighter every day. Strange patterns appeared on his skin, glowing faintly when he cried or laughed. Sometimes he spoke in sounds no human could understand, words that hummed like music. Scientists begged to take him for study. Alara refused. One night, alarms blared across the base. Enemy raiders were attacking a group of scavenger ships that hunted weak colonies. Alara grabbed her rifle and strapped Kale close to her chest in a sling. Soldiers shouted at her, "Leave the child behind." She shook her head. The base shook under heavy fire.
Ow.
Soldiers rushed to their posts. Alara moved with them, Kale's wide eyes glowing in the dark.
Ow.
A scavenger broke through a shattered wall, roaring, weapon raised. The nights grew colder in the colony. Lara often sat awake with Kale resting against her chest, his soft glow filling the small room. To her, the light was comforting proof that he was alive, growing, and safe. Spread like fire. Some soldiers avoided her in the halls. Others stared too long at the child, their eyes filled with fear or envy. The story of Kale's power during the raider attack had already twisted into rumor. Some said he blinded an enemy with a weapon hidden in his body. Others claimed he could control minds. Some went further. They said he was dangerous, that he would one day destroy them all. Alara felt the tension in every step she took. Even food servers in the mess hall placed her tray at the far edge of the counter as if her touch might curse them. Only a handful of people still treated her the same. One of them was Captain Rin, a grizzled human officer with a scar across his cheek. I had fought beside Alara in past battles, and while he didn't smile often, he respected her. Still, even he couldn't hide his unease. "Ilara," he said one evening, when they met in the dim corridor outside the armory. "You've made a choice that puts you against everyone. You need to be ready for what comes," she frowned. "What do you mean?" He hesitated. "There are talks, soldiers who want the child taken. Some believe the council was right. They think keeping him endangers us all." Her grip on Kale's sling tightened. The baby stirred in his sleep. "Who?" she demanded. Rin shook his head. "Names won't help. Just know this, trust no one too quickly. Not even me." Then he turned away, leaving her heart pounding. Days later, the whispers grew louder. Alara overheard soldiers speaking when they thought she wasn't listening. "Night patrol, we grab him. No one will stop us." Better he studied than kept like some pet. The mother's lost her mind. She'd doom us all. Her chest tightened with fear and anger. She wanted to shout, to fight them all. But Kale's tiny breath against her neck kept her calm. She couldn't risk open war, not yet. Instead, she made plans. She hid supplies in her quarters' food packs, medicine, a small weapon. If they came for Kale, she would be ready to run. But running would mean leaving everything behind. Her home, her people, the only life she knew. Every night she asked herself the same question. Could she protect Kale alone? Her heart always gave the same answer, yes, whatever it takes. One night, Alara woke to the sound of footsteps outside her door. She held her breath, clutching Kale close. The footsteps paused, then moved away. Faint scratching sound followed, as if something sharp dragged against the metal frame. Alara crept to the door and peeked through the small crack. Nothing, only shadows. But when morning came, she saw a mark carved into the metal. A single word. Traitor. Her blood ran cold. They weren't just whispering anymore. They were sending her warnings. The next day, Alara walked into the training hall. Kale strapped to her back. Conversation stopped instantly. Soldiers who had been laughing and sparring fell silent. Tall soldier named Varric, known for his cruel temper, stepped forward. His eyes burned with anger. "Why do you bring it here?" he spat. "This is a place for warriors, not for that." He jabbed a finger at Kale. Alara's voice was calm, but her hand rested on the rifle slung at her side. "Say what you want about me, but you don't speak about him." Varric sneered. "He's not your son. He's an alien. One day he'll turn on you, and when he does, I hope I'm there to watch." Some soldiers chuckled. Others looked away. Ashamed, Alara stepped forward, her eyes locked on his. If you think he's a threat, then your fear makes you weaker than him. Remember that. The room went quiet again. Varric's jaw tightened, but he didn't move. For now, that night, Alara couldn't sleep. She watched Kale as he played with the strap of her cloak, his silver eyes glowing faintly in the dark. You don't understand any of this, do you? She whispered. All you want is love, and I'll give it to you, even if the whole galaxy hates me for it. Kale giggled, a sound pure and innocent. For a moment, the fear melted away. Then the alarm blared. Red lights flashed across the base. A voice shouted over the speakers, "Unauthorized breach." East Wing. Ilara's heart raced. She grabbed her weapon and Kale, rushing into the corridor. Soldiers sprinted past, shouting orders, but Alara noticed something strange. None of them were heading to the East Wing. They were spreading out. Everywhere, confused, scattered, a diversion. Her blood ran cold. This wasn't a normal raid. This was a plan. A plan to take Kale. As she turned the corner, Alara saw them three masked figures moving quickly through the shadows. One of them carried a stun cage built for holding prisoners. Kale whimpered softly, sensing danger. Ilara raised her rifle. Stop. The figures froze. Then, without a word, they lunged. Blaster fire lit the hall. Alara dove behind cover, clutching Kale tight. Her heart pounded. She was outnumbered. Alone. But she wasn't weak. Her eyes narrowed. You picked the wrong mother to fight. The battle for Kale had begun. And in the dark halls of the base, betrayal waited to strike. The kidnapping, the attack came fast, too fast. Blaster fire cut through the halls. Sparks rained down as walls cracked and smoke filled the air. Lara clutched Kale tight against her chest, heart pounding like a drum. The masked figures moved like shadows, quick and ruthless. They weren't raiders, weren't strangers. Ilara knew it in her gut. These were her own people. Soldiers. Humans she had once fought beside. They wanted Kale. One figure rushed her left. Another leapt over cover. The third stayed back, raising the stun cage. Ilara fired. Her rifle spat blue bolts, striking one figure in the shoulder. He collapsed with a cry, mask shattering to reveal a human face. No alien at all. Her chest tightened. I was right. Betrayal. The second attacker slammed into her, knocking her against the wall. Pain shot through her ribs. She gasped, shielding Kale with her body. Take the child, the soldier shouted. Lara swung her elbow, striking his jaw. He staggered. But the third had already moved. Stun cage crackled with energy. Kale wailed, sensing the danger. His tiny hands glowed faintly, his silver eyes wide with fear. No, Ilara screamed. She fired again, forcing them back. Smoke filled the air. Alarms screamed overhead. But there were too many. She was only one. Then it happened. A flash. A sound like breaking glass. Kale's glow flared, bursting from a small body like a wave. The attackers stumbled, covering their eyes. One screamed as his visor melted. But Kale's power drained him. His glow faded quickly, and he slumped, weakly against Alara's chest. She looked down, terrified. He was breathing, but barely. And in that single moment of weakness, they struck. The third soldier slammed the butt of his weapon against her head. Stars exploded in her vision. She fell to her knees, Kale slipping. From her arms, no, she gasped, crawling forward. But her body wouldn't move fast enough. The stun cage snapped shut around Kale. His cries echoed as the figures dragged him away. Ilara? Someone shouted in the distance. Footsteps thundered closer. Captain Rin appeared, weapon drawn, firing at the retreating attackers. Two of them fell, but the one carrying Kale vanished into the smoke. Rin grabbed Ilara, hauling her up. Stay with me. But she shoved him off, blood running down her. Temple, they took him. Rin, they have Kale. Rin's eyes widened. He cursed under his breath, shouting into his cums. Seal the exits. No one leaves the base. But deep down, Ilara knew it was too late. Hours passed. The base was locked down. searched from top to bottom. Soldiers dragged the captured attackers into holding cells. But Cale was gone. Lara sat in the medical wing, bandages wrapped around. Her head, hands trembling, her arms felt empty, colder than they ever had before. The voices around her blurred together. Reports, orders, accusations. They couldn't have gotten far. Someone inside helped them. Council will demand answers. None of it mattered. All she could hear was Cale's last cry echoing. In her mind, Rin entered quietly, his face hard as stone. "Lara," he said, "we found something." He placed a small device on the table. A tracker. Broken. Destroyed. "They knew what they were doing," he muttered. "Whoever took him was trained. And they're gone off-world already." Her chest clenched. "Then we go after them." Rin shook his head. "It's not that simple. Orders are already coming from the council. They want this. Handled carefully." Her eyes narrowed. Handled carefully. "They stole my son, Alara." She stood, fists trembling. "Don't you dare tell me to wait. If the council gets him, they'll cut him open on a table. You know that as well as I do." Rin didn't answer. His silence was enough. That night, Alara went back to her quarters. The room was too quiet. Cale's small blanket lay on the cot, folded neatly. She picked it up, pressing it to her face. It still carried his scent. Her tears fell hot and fast. She had promised him safety. She had promised to protect him no matter what. Now he was out there, alone, afraid, in the hands of those who saw him as nothing but a weapon. "No," she whispered. Her voice shook, but her heart hardened. "I will not lose." The hangar door slammed shut with a deafening clang. Heavy locks hissed into place, sealing every exit. Red lights flashed across the ceiling, bathing the room in warning glow. Alara's heart pounded. She was trapped. Cale was trapped, and the council would be here soon.
"Think, Alara. Think."
She whispered to herself, forcing air into her lungs. Cale whimpered weakly from inside the stun cage. His glow flickered like a dying flame. Alara pressed her palm against the bars. "Stay with me, baby. I'll get us out." But even as she spoke, footsteps echoed above. Voices came through the hangar speakers. Cold, detached, official. "Subject Cale has been secured. Terminate the human if she resists." Lara's blood turned to ice. Terminate the human. They weren't even hiding it now. She spun, spotting Varick's blaster on the floor. Snatching it up, she steadied her shaking hands, not without a fight. The ceiling hatch opened. Ropes dropped and armored soldiers descended. Weapons drawn, their helmets gleamed, their steps steady. These weren't raiders. They were council enforcers. The first soldier barked, "Step away from the specimen, Alara." Now her jaw clenched. "He's not a specimen. He's my son." The soldier tilted his head. "You've grown too attached. Your feelings blind you. This creature's dangerous." Alara raised the blaster. "Then you'll have to kill me." Blaster fire erupted. Alara dove behind a crate, sparks spraying where shots hit metal. She returned fire, her aim sharp with desperation. 2 enforcers fell, their armor smoking, but more came. Too many. Cale cried louder, the sound vibrating through the air. Lights flickered, panels sparked. Alara risked a glance. His glow was returning, pulsing stronger. "Not now, baby," she whispered. "Save your strength." Grenade clattered across the floor. Alara kicked it back before it exploded midair, throwing soldiers off balance. She seized the moment, sprinting toward Cale's cage. Her fingers scrambled over the lock. It was reinforced, designed for alien containment. She cursed under her breath. She couldn't break it by hand. Shadow loomed behind her. An enforcer raised his weapon. Cale's glow flared. The weapon shorted, electricity arcing through the soldier's armor. He collapsed, twitching. Alara froze. Cale's eyes glowed brighter than she had ever seen. "My God," she whispered. "You're fighting back?" She spotted a maintenance console on the wall. If she could reroute the power, maybe she could disable the lock. Blaster bolts flew past her as she dashed to it. She slammed her hand against the controls, overriding the system. Sparks flew. The lights dimmed. The stun cage hummed, then clicked open. Kale's glow burst free, bathing the room in soft blue light. Ilara scooped him into her arms. He was warm, trembling, but alive. The soldiers hesitated, unsettled by the strange energy radiating from the child. One of them muttered, "The reports were true. The thing is dangerous." Ilara stood tall. Kale pressed against her chest. "He's not dangerous. He's scared. And if you try to hurt him again," her voice broke into a snarl, "I'll kill every one of you." Suddenly, the hangar doors began to grind open. Engines roared. Outside, Alara's eyes widened. A transport ship hovered at the edge, guns blazing at the council's soldiers. The ramp dropped, and Captain Rin's voice boomed. "Ilara, move!" Relief surged through her. Against all odds, Rin had come. Ilara sprinted, blaster in one hand, Kale in the other. Soldiers fired at her, bolts streaking past, but she didn't stop. She leapt onto the ramp just as it lifted. The transport shot upward, engines screaming. The hangar below shrank, filled with chaos. Ilara collapsed against the wall, gasping for air. Kale whimpered softly in her arms. She kissed his forehead, tears streaming down her face. "We made it, baby. We made it." Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Inside the cockpit, Rin steered hard, weaving between turrets. "The council won't let this go," he growled. "They'll hunt us across the stars." Ilara tightened her hold on Kale. "Let them. I won't give him up." Rin glanced back, his eyes filled with something she hadn't seen before. "You'd risk everything for him." Ilara met his gaze firmly. "He's my son. That's all that matters." But even as the stars stretched before them, her heart remained heavy. Kale had shown power against strange, dangerous power. The council knew. Wherever they went, whatever safe haven they sought, the galaxy would never stop hunting them. Ilara brushed her cheek against Kale's soft skin. "I don't care what they call you. You're mine. And I'll protect you no matter what it takes." Kale's glow softened, wrapping her in light. For the first time in hours, he slept peacefully. Ilara closed her eyes, exhaustion weighing her down. But in her chest burned a fire stronger than fear. The galaxy wanted to tear them apart. But she would fight them all. For Kale, the final stand, the transport ship tore through hyperspace, stars stretching like rivers of light. Inside, the air was heavy with silence. Ilara sat in the corner, Kale cradled tightly in her arms. His soft glow dimmed and brightened. With each breath, as though his body was learning to control the strange power inside him, she whispered, rocking him gently. "You're safe now, baby. Mama's here." But she didn't believe her own words. Captain Rin's voice broke the silence. "Ilara, we can't keep running forever. The council will track us. They'll never stop until Kale is in their hands." Ilara's eyes flashed with steel. "Then we fight." Rin frowned. "Fight. Against the council. That's suicide." She stood, her grip firm on Kale. "No. It's survival. They call him dangerous. They call him a weapon. But he's a child, my child, and I will not let them decide his fate." Rin studied her for a long moment. Finally, he sighed. "Sound like every human legend I grew up hearing fighting. Impossible odds with nothing but fire in your chest." Ilara gave a small, tired smile. "Maybe that's what being human means." The ship dropped out of hyperspace. Before them loomed the glittering spires of the Galactic Council Station. Dozens of ships circled it, patrol cruisers, defense, platforms, drones. Ilara's breath caught. There's no way through. But then Kale stirred in her arms. His glow pulsed, stronger than ever before. Systems on the ship flickered. The consoles beeped. The engines hummed with renewed power. Rin's eyes widened. It's him. He's sinking with the ship. Ilara kissed Kale's head. "He's trying to protect us." The council hailed them. A stern voice filled the cabin. "Human Ilara, you are charged with harboring a dangerous alien specimen. Surrender it now, and your death will be swift. Resist, and both you and the creature will be destroyed." Ilara stepped forward, holding Kale close. Her voice shook, but her words carried fire. He is not a specimen, is Kale. He is my son, and if you want him. Her eyes narrowed. Come and take him. Alarms blared. Fighters broke from the station, streaking toward the transport. Rin gritted his teeth, throwing the ship into sharp turns. Lasers lit up the void, close enough to rattle the hull. Hold on, he shouted. Lara braced herself, shielding Kale. But then something strange happened. Kale's glow burst outward, flooding the cockpit in blinding blue. Outside, the fighter systems glitched. Weapons shut down. Engines sputtered. One by one, they spun out of control, powerless. The path to the council station cleared. Rin's jaw dropped. By the stars, he just disabled an entire fleet. Ilara pressed her forehead to Kale's. Tears filled her eyes. You're not a weapon, baby. You're hope. He dove toward the council spire. The docking bay doors screeched open, trying to close again, but Kale's energy held them wide. The transport slammed inside. The ramp dropped. Ilara strode. Out Kale in her arms, blaster at her hip. Rin followed with his rifle ready. Council guards filled the chamber, weapons raised. At their head stood Chancellor Thalos, tall and cold, his robe flowing behind him. His voice cut like a knife. You dare bring it here. That thing is not a child, it is a threat to every world. Ilara's voice thundered across the bay. He is my son. I will not let you decide who he is. Dalos sneered. And what will you do, human? Defy the will of the entire council? She lifted Kale higher, his glow lighting the chamber. I'll show them the truth. Kale's light expanded, washing over the guards. Their weapons sputtered and fell. But more than that, the light touched their minds. Ilara could see it in their faces. Their eyes softened. Fear melted into awe. For a moment, the entire chamber stood still, bathed in Kale's glow. Whispers spread among the guards. He's beautiful. He's not dangerous. He's alive. Talos snarled, resisting. Do not be fooled. It is manipulating you. It must be destroyed. Ilara stepped closer, fury burning in her voice. The only danger here is your fear, Thalos. You see power and want to control it. But Kale is not yours to control. He's mine to protect. The Chancellor drew his own weapon, aiming straight at the child. Ilara's heart stopped. She moved to shield Kale, but Kale's glow surged, brighter than a star. The weapon melted in Thalos's hand. Energy coursed through the chamber, shaking the walls. Thalos fell to his knees, his voice breaking. Impossible.